Well, behind the cameras, the geese are going absolutely mental, and that means two things. Firstly, spring is well and truly here, but secondly, that means that you guys are going to start thinking about booking in socials, booking in longer sessions, and just generally being on the bank a little bit more. With being on the bank more, you're going to want a bit more comfort, and I thought it only seems right to have a look at some of the products from Nash's Bank Life range. Now, the first one we're going to be looking at is the shelter that I am actually sitting in now, and this is the Blockhouse. Now, you might remember previously I did look at the Blockhouse Camo Pro, and whilst they share a lot of similar features in terms of the actual concept of the shelter, how it sets up, the overall look and feel of it, they do have a few differences as well. So the original one, which I've got with me, is a little bit lighter, it's a little bit smaller, it's made from a slightly lighter material, it's 10,000mm hydrostatic head rather than 20,000. And instead of having the inner dome or the inner capsule, it has a ground sheet instead. So it's a bit more of a stripped back version, but I don't see that as a problem whatsoever if you wanted to save a little bit of money, because it does come in a little bit cheaper, about $499.99. Now, each of the products we look at today, I am only doing a quick overview because there's a few to get through. So if you want to find out a bit more, do a bit more research after this, then make sure you do. But like I say, the first thing is this shelter. Now, as you might expect with a social style shelter or gazebo style shelter, it is very, very flexible. Now, the front door I've got completely open, completely rolled up, but there are multiple door options. You've got a clear panel, you've got a full infill panel, and you've got a mozzie panel as well. So depending on how you want to use this, if you want it just as a social hub, or if you want it as more of a bivvy that you can use as a social hub as well, then that door has got you covered. But all the way around, you might see you've got mozzie mesh as well, and that is all covered with infill panels. So behind me, I've got one open just to let a little bit of light in, but I've got the others shut off because it's quite windy, so it stops all of that. Above me, you've also got a vapor shield, so that really helps with condensation. Whether you're using it as a bivvy, and obviously you're sleeping in here and you're getting condensation at night, that will help. But it will also help if you're cooking in here as well. By having that vapor shield, it just helps to eliminate that condensation a little bit. But it's also worth mentioning at the front, you've basically got an extra flap, I guess, of material, which can be used as an extension porch. Now, this is used in conjunction with a front door extension kit, which is basically two long poles which go together, and then a couple of guy ropes as well. So using that all together gives you probably, I'd say, 3 foot of extra porch space, which is really handy, especially if you're using it as a social shelter for a few of you, and obviously you're getting some bad weather. By having that little extension, it just helps to give you that little bit more area to keep you nice and dry. So like I say, it's only a very quick overview on the Blockhouse. If you want more details, head over to the Nash website. But if you want to see the other video where I've gone a bit more in depth on the Blockhouse Camo Pro, they do share very, very similar characteristics. So make sure you head over to that video after you finish watching this one. But let's move on to the next product we're going to look at, which is probably my favourite product that we're looking at today. That is these little tables. Now, these are the Bank Life bedside tables in camo, and there's a couple of different sizes available. You've got a small and a large, which I've got just behind me, and the small one comes in at $79.99, with the large being a little bit more at $99.99. But what I really like about these is the little bag that it comes with. Now, this is actually a little organizer, so it's not a bag, and you've basically got a zip that goes around 3 sides, opens out, and it's actually got a little shelf in between as well. So this is ideal, like I say, if you're set up for a little while and, I don't know, you want bits of dry food and things like that in here, if you want sauces and bits like that, then that's really cool that you've got a little divider in it. It's actually really rigid as well. So yeah, it's a really nice little feature, and you've also got a divider in the bigger one as well. But the other nice thing about this is it actually completely rolls back. So if you'll see here, you've got little toggles, and then that corresponds to the little tags on the inside. So you can roll it back, so you can keep it open if you want to, if you're in and out there all the time. But then overnight, to prevent any rats or anything like that getting into it, you can zip it right down. And it's actually a really thick material as well. I think it's 600D material, so it's really hard wearing. And yeah, it's just a cool little design that I think it's more just having a shelf in a bag. I really like. It's the little things, isn't it? But alongside that, it is adjustable as well. The feet work on a twist lock mechanism, so you can twist it, pull it down, extend it, and then twist it back, and then that holds nice and tight. So you can get everything nice and level really easily. Because of the twist lock design, obviously it's not quite as bulky as having mud feet on such a small little table. But yeah, I really like these. Like I say, it's $79.99 for the small one, or $99.99 for its bigger brother. Next up, we have got the 𝗃𝗏𝗵𝗿 Again, there's two sizes available. We've got the small one and the large one. Both have very different purposes, kind of. They're both still tables, but the small one is basically the ideal height for an SS4 sleep system. So when the feet are completely retracted, that is pretty much level to the SS4. So it can be really handy if you're just wanting like a bedside table, then you can do. Ideal for having things like your receivers on here, your phone charging, things like that. But it can also be extended as well. So all the feet are completely adjustable, one touch mud feet. So just makes it nice and easy to extend it, and again that's going to hold nice and safe, I guess. Nice and rigid, I can't think of the right word, but yes, it's a very hard wearing bit of kit. But the other nice thing is that it folds completely flat as well. So I can probably do you a bit of a demo here. Obviously it is quite a rigid bit of kit, and that is thanks to this little locking design in the middle. So you basically put your legs in place, that turns, and then there's no way that these legs can fall. So you're not going to have any issues where you've just made a nice dinner and then a leg collapses. So that turns around like that. You've then got the inner structure which will close in place. I think I've done it the wrong way around. If we do that one first, that then comes up, that then folds down, and everything clicks in place completely flat, because you've obviously got the adjustable mud feet as well. So that is a pretty cool concept, I think, that it folds so flat, but it's also such a high quality adjustable table. Like I say, it does come in two different sizes. You've got the small, which I've just demonstrated here, but you do have the large. And yes, they are both tables, but like I said earlier, they do have very different purposes. So the idea of the large one is that you can fit 4 anglers sitting around that, knees under, and everyone can eat their dinner there. So that is the idea of that one. Again, it's got adjustable legs and adjustable feet, so you can raise it up or drop it down as high or as low as you want it to. But it's really nice to have the two different options, that if you're wanting a decent sized bedside table or something like that, you've got this one. But if you are wanting it from more of a social point of view, then you have got that one that you can all sit around, either in something like this blockhouse or outside in the sun. It's really nice to have those options. And obviously they come in at 2 different prices. You've got the small one, which comes in at $99.99, or the large one a little bit more at $139.99, but they all feature the same sort of things with the completely fold flat design and the adjustability that I've shown you on this small one. But that leaves one thing left to talk about in this video, and that is going to be my comfort for today. Of course, no social setup would be complete without a Nash moon chair, and this is a 2023 version, so it has been redesigned slightly to make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more user-friendly, shall we say, and it definitely is, but there is no lack of comfort here. So this is still as comfortable as the original one that they first brought out, but it just comes in at a slightly lighter weight at 6.1 kilos, and it is not missing any of the comfort from any of the previous versions. So I really like these moon chairs. They are very, very comfortable bits of kit. No long session or social situation is complete without something like this. Now these come in at $99.99 as well, which is a little bit cheaper than some of the previous versions of these moon chairs. So overall, really can't complain that Nash have brought out a new version. Still every bit as comfortable as it ever has been. Now for more information about any of these products, like I said earlier, do check out the 𝗃𝗃𝗃 website, where you can find all the ins and outs, all the sizes, all the weights and everything. But for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.